But what could be greater than a king?
A hero.
Welcome back to the regular podcast. Is anything but today we return with the DCEU Rewatch, episode 6, Aquaman. I really like Aquaman.
I really don't.
I love that movie. Okay, listen. Number one, the moment we started the movie, you were like, "I'm really not up to watching this," but okay.
I mean, I really wasn't. I don't want to lie.
I
don't want to lie to you.
You were already in that mindset.
No, I just didn't want to watch
like
a movie today. I just didn't want to watch a movie today. I just didn't feel like watching a movie. It had nothing to do with Aquaman. It could have been a freaking whatever movie. I just didn't feel like watching a movie today. And it was just unlucky that it happened to fall on Aquaman. But no,
you were like, "Oh, this movie's just
I was not like that. I just yawned, and I mean, I can't lie and be like, "Oh, dude, I'm really vibing with this movie." I just don't think this movie is very. You what? What do you mean could have? Yeah, I could have enjoyed the movie. I didn't. Two different, very different concepts.
When you say could have, I mean the answer could be yes and no. So, you know. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. You just hate the movie. That's fine. You know, it is what it is. You know, you just don't like Jason Momoa. That's cool.
I never said I don't like Jason Momoa.
Oh, so you're saying you like Jason Momoa?
I mean, I can't really like him or dislike him. I don't know him. I don't really know him.
So you don't know Jason Momoa?
No, I don't.
After watching Aquaman, we know his origin story. So
yeah, Aquaman, not Jason Momoa.
How do you not know him?
Aquaman's
Jason
a
Momoa
character.
and Aquaman are the same person.
I mean, not really.
I mean, if that's what you want to believe, man, all I gotta say, I love the movie. I wasn't yawning because it was pretty enjoyable.
But why?
I don't know what your first consensus is. Why? Mainly because it just feels like this one is like a big departure from the rest of the DCEU. And like, whereas we have a dark film like BVS, and we also have like a heist like Get Out, get to the tower and then get right back out. Extraction movie like Suicide Squad, a war movie like Wonder Woman. We just have a fun, campy movie like Aquaman, and it doesn't have to be more than that. It just embraces its campiness, and that's what I love about it. Because it didn't really have to go dark, you know. They didn't have to go dark, mature. Just have fun elements, and you had a perfectly fun movie right there. So I really love Aquaman.
Excuse me. Sorry. I just think this movie is boring just because it's not very interesting to me. And it's nothing against Jason Momoa. It's probably just writing, more directing and writing than the actor. But I just don't find this movie that interesting at all. Coming off of Justice League, and even though, you know, it's Justice League, like, I still think that movie was more interesting, even though it might not have been fair since it was like a team-up movie. Then even looking at the other solo movies, Man of Steel and Wonder Woman, I think those movies just have way more interesting characters. I never really thought Aquaman was a character, even before all the memes of, yeah, Aquaman is useless and everything. I just don't think this plot of the movie is very good. It's a very generic sword in the stone, take back the kingdom thing, and there's just not a lot of interesting moments sprinkled throughout. There's a few moments that I enjoy, but throughout this movie, it's just, for me, it's just a bore fest, and I'm not really enjoying it.
Well, wait, so you would say Lois Lane's dad, right? She had her dad in Man of Steel. You would say character is more...
Where was Lois Lane's dad?
Then who was the guy that was the little general guy?
You thought that was her dad?
His name. See, listen,
you do remember his name. His name's Swanwick, and he's the Martian Manhunter.
Swanwick? That was his name? No, not him. I'm talking about the other guy.
Oh, that dude. Yeah, no one knows about that guy.
Died.
That's not Lois Lane's dad. That's just a random dude.
So you would say that character is more interesting than some characters inside of this movie?
I mean, that's a pretty far reach.
No, I know it's a pretty far reach. You said characters in that movie.
What do you mean? I said, when did I say that?
Nah, bro. You said the characters that are in Man of Steel are honestly kind of more interesting than
I did not say that. We can pause right here and we can go listen to what I said.
Okay.
We'll be right back, guys. I gotta prove him wrong. Okay, so after recording the play, looking back at the playback, Sterling was right. I'll admit I was
Yes.
wrong. I don't know why he's got to be cocky about it, but it is
Not
what it
being
is.
cocky, but that's
And I
TGG.
will stand by that statement. I do think the other movies have more interesting characters, even though you brought out one example of the little general guy. Yeah, I think they're more interesting than some of the characters in this movie. But as you were saying,
Even the doctor, and
well, you're just making an overgeneralization by thinking I mean every single character in that movie.
I mean,
you're
by
overgeneralizing
your
just because I said
definition of
no.
every single character, that could just mean the
That's what
main
you're
characters.
doing. You're just bringing up characters and being like, oh, so that guy, that character, this character, and I don't know why you're just doing that just because it's Aquaman.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not doing it just because of Aquaman.
I don't
I'm
think
just
the
saying,
characters
like,
are that interesting. Why are you overgeneralizing? I didn't say
not
every single character
overgeneralizing it.
in those
I'm
movies.
just saying, but you're saying, yeah, I stand by that. The characters inside of Man of Steel are more interesting than Aquaman.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. So I'm trying to
not
ask
every
you,
single character, Sterling.
But you said characters.
Okay, Sterling, I'm not even gonna do it with you.
Yeah. So let's move right into visuals. You know, we did our little review, and I thought the visuals were great. I really love the underwater stuff. Some of the fight scenes, they do make you dizzy, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, I like the fight scenes. They're very high paced, high action. I love the long takes. Just everything about the action is pretty cool.
I actually don't like the visuals in this movie. I think the camera work is actually not very good. I mean, it's not very good. I shouldn't have said that. I just don't. I don't like the style of James Wan. I believe it's just action in this movie is very nauseating. Like it's very floaty and like FOV is changing. Front in like it's zooming in and then it's zooming out. It's tilting a lot, and I think it's a unique style, but I just don't like it because it's just so movie, and it's just something about these scenes I just can't put my finger on it. I think the worst example of it is the opening fight during the prologue with Atlanta. Just everything is so floaty, the camera's tilting so much, and I just don't like it. Also, the CGI is pretty good. It's pretty good. Except just near the end when it's just another CGI battle against one. But I'll save that for third act.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought like visuals were cool underneath water. I love it when it goes full screen instead of widescreen. So that's what I really like. But we can move right into soundtrack. I think his theme is just great. I really love his theme. I mean, everything about his theme just feels awesome to me. I don't know why.
Coming as another trend for me is another thing I don't like. Sounds really negative. I don't actually hate the theme. I just think it's lower on the list of themes I like. I didn't even remember it till I hit this. It's a nice blend of rock and EDM. It's not bad. It's not one of my favorites, but it's an alright theme. It fits the movie because it's kind of like some sort of Tron Blade Runner thing, but underwater. It's an alright theme, not my personal favorite, but I just think that the guitar riff is used a little less than I think it would have been cool if they used it more throughout, because it is a pretty good guitar riff. The theme's kind of forgettable, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, let's move right into story. Then again, this story is not that interesting.
It's generic, honestly. I think it's generic.
It's kind of like Black Panther, but at the same time, they both have their differences.
I mean, both of them have the same plot. Honestly, they both are the exact same plot. Like, the hero, the only thing that's different is at the beginning, Arthur doesn't want to go to Atlantis. But it's the same thing about the hero has to become the right king. The hero presumably dies, and then they come back with the superpower thing, and then they win and become king. The story in this movie, it's not very special. It's just another he's the son of the queen or king, and he has to fight his other brother, and then he has to go get the sword and the stone to become the worthy one. And it's just a pretty generic story. I feel like they could have done something better with the Black Manta arc. I mean, Ocean Master, he was fine as a villain. It's just, when I went in, I was expecting a Black Manta to have a huge part, but he kind of just goes out like a wimp, and I should be saving that for villain, but it's kind of part of the story too. I mean, the story, it does take you to a couple different places, but the story for Aquaman is just kind of a boring story for a boring character, I guess.
A boring story for. So you think Aquaman is boring, huh?
As a
I
as
don't
an
think.
idea, as a character, yes, I do think he's kind of boring.
I don't. I don't think the story is boring. I feel like it could have been handled better, but at the same time, I mean, this is a story about a king. Like Aquaman is a king. He's the king of Atlantis. There's not many stories that you can tell inside of that little genre esque. So I appreciate what they did. I appreciate they tried to do something different. And at the same time, like I said, there are differences between this and Black Panther, but there are many similarities. But I just like the way how they staged the story as a whole and how they structured it by making it actually feel more relevant to today's society, how we actually do kind of pollute our oceans a lot. So that's what I really like. And I think overall, I mean, I just really like it because it's just fun, enjoyable. It's not thematically rich like Black Panther. It's not as serious as Black Panther. It's just a nice, fun adventure. You know, Sahara, the ocean, anywhere. I really enjoy it. But we can move right into characters, which we have been arguing about in the beginning.
I
And
mean, you gotta admit you were kind of overgeneralizing a bit. I mean, I'll admit I was wrong about I forgot I said it, but the characters in the movie, I actually like a couple of the characters in this movie. I do like the main character, Arthur. I do think Aquaman as a character is boring, but Jason Momoa, I mean, I kind of should be saving this for Hero Arc, but the characters in this movie, they're kind of over the top. Like you have Orm, who's always screaming at the top of his lungs, and like he's got a reverb effect. He's always like, "Rise, Atlantis!" And then you have that other Mara's dad. Mara's, I'm pretty sure it was Mara's dad, the dude in the red hair, the king. Also, a lot of these characters, you don't really have their motivations. Like, so that guy, he's Mara's dad, and so he was just okay after Orm literally confessed to killing her.
Literally, that's like literally that was my main what? Dang it. I forgot the name of it, but that's my main criticism. Yeah, that was my main criticism when the movie first came out. I was like, this guy does absolutely nothing.
And he says, "You said she was dead," and he's like, "Apparently not." Like, that's your daughter you're talking about. You think like he tried to kill your daughter, you wouldn't want to be his right hand man, helping him conquer Atlantis and the kingdoms, but no, because the motivations are really shallow. I think Orm's really the only person with a defined motivation. Is just, but even though it's pretty basic, you know, he just wants to kill Arthur and become king. I mean, there's not a lot of flexibility they can do with his motivation.
Yeah, like I will touch on it in villain art, but he actually does kind of have like a very
his only motivation for wanting to kill Arthur is, "You're the reason our mother is dead," and that was one throw off line. I'm pretty sure it was during the fight. Other characters, his dad really doesn't play a part. It's Boba Fett just standing at the pier getting a drink. So I mean, there's really
his dad is like the whole like his dad being in danger is like the whole reason why he goes to Atlantis. So that's the whole reason why his dad was there, just to motivate him. But that's basically what parents do inside of superhero movies anyway. So I mean, I don't count that as a fault of the movie. It's just the way the cliche is.
I mean, I don't really see that as his motivations. I thought it was because of all the destruction that he saw. Because, you know, literally, they attacked the world. And I'm pretty sure he said he needed to stop Orm. But if that's how you interpret it, I guess. There's not a lot of characters in this movie to really critique without getting into the villain. Volko, there's not really a lot to say about Volko. You don't really know his relationship with Queen Atlanta. He just kind of trained Arthur. So the characters in this movie...
No, his relationship with Atlanta that's his sister.
Atlanta was a sister? I don't remember that. that.
No, that was his sister. In the movie. Yeah, that's Arthur's uncle.
Well, I didn't really make that up. Maybe I just wasn't listening because I was kind of bored. But there's not really a lot of characters worth critiquing in this. They're not really... There's no standout amazing characters, but there's no really extreme bad characters. So I guess that's a plus of the movie.
Yeah, I just find all the characters just to be, you know, fun and campy. That's it. I mean, just like the movie, they're fun and campy. So what more could I say, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, I'm just gonna talk about Orm because I think Orm, compared to all the other DC villains, I will say he's better than Steppenwolf. But I mean, that's about all I can give him because Orm, he's really not all that in the movie a bunch.
Doomsday, Enchantress. Lex.
You think he's better than them?
I'm just
Or
yeah.
just like your naming villains? Oh
He's
no.
up there with Zod for me. He's up there with
For
Zod
me,
for me.
he's like the second worst. He does not do anything really threatening. I mean, I don't really, and so my things for a good villain are relatable and they're threatening. Orm, he's not really that for any of it. He just seems like the kind of generic comic book villain. He doesn't really do anything cool. I even think his name, Ocean Master, he says it like trying to be all intimidating. Call me Ocean Master. I just think that was like, come on, dude, that was kind of lame. He doesn't really. His whole motivation is just apparently he just hates Arthur for him being the reason that their mother was killed. And I think they could have done more with that, like show him scenes like of how much he misses his mother and he blames Arthur, or maybe just get some flashback scenes of when he was younger. But no, Orm's not really a big part of the movie that much, so I mean, I just don't think he's that good. He doesn't really do anything cool or threatening except scream. His scream is pretty cool, or his yell. But Orm, nah, dude, he's very lame for me. Second worst DC villain. He's only above Steppenwolf for me. Actually, I will do the benefit of the doubt. Say he's better than Enchantress, so third worst.
Well, I disagree with everything that you just said.
Okay.
I think that his arc is actually pretty relatable. Like, think about it. I mean, this is a guy, the half-breed. Like, this is the guy that basically sentenced your mother to death, sitting right in front of you. Of course you're going to get mad. Of course you're going to be mad. And also, you live most of your life in the ocean. This is your way of living. And he's a half-breed. He lives on the land. And you see people dropping just trash into the ocean. You're going to be mad and have some resentment towards those people. That's why I find his arc so relatable, because we as humans, we do like to dump our trash inside of the ocean. We don't wonder how the sea life feel about that. So I like the fact that they actually touch more on that life inside of the ocean, like how the sea life is actually living, because these are how the Atlanteans are living, with all of these people dumping their trash into the ocean. So I find that his arc is actually pretty relatable, and he has a very sympathetic arc. This is a guy that lost his mother, and he's looking right at the guy that he thinks caused his mother to get executed. So of course he's going to be mad. So everything that you said with him not being a bit part of the film, I actually think that he elevates the film a lot more. And even with you saying that he doesn't do much, he's doing stuff in the film. You just don't.
In the background. You're not really seeing him do anything. I mean, it's cool that you feel like
because the story is not about him. The story is about Arthur's journey to get the trident to stop his brother to wage war against land.
That's why I said I feel like they could have done more. I just don't think he does enough in the film to really justify him as a good villain. So I said with his arc, they should have shown more about how much he hates Arthur, or like show scenes that he even loves his mother that much. Like he doesn't even care that he just split his own mom's trident in half against Arthur. He doesn't talk about like his memories of her or how he misses her. I just think they could have done that and made him a more relatable and sympathetic villain. I just don't think he's that good. So I think they could have done more.
But in his mind, he thinks that his mother cheated on his father to have a half-breed before he was even born, and that's what got her executed. So him and her going to the surface to basically cheat on his father got her executed. That's what he thinks. So of course he's going to have resentments toward Arthur and towards his mother.
They didn't show that a lot in the film. They didn't show any of that.
But they said it in dialogue.
Show, don't tell.
You don't really, that goes to a certain extent.
I mean, if you think so. I just don't think he's that good of a villain. I think they could have done more with him.
I just find him very relatable, and especially with today's time. Everything that he said inside of this film is very relevant in today's time. We do a lot of pollution.
Okay.
But we can move right into hero arc.
Arthur's arc, he doesn't really have... he does go from really not caring about the underwater to being like, he does become their king and he does care about the animals. His arc, it's not bad. It's a pretty solid arc. It's just Arthur, Aquaman as a hero. Actually, I just don't think Aquaman as a hero was ever that cool to me. I was never the hugest Aquaman fan, but they did do a good job of trying to modernize it and redo Aquaman to make him more of this punk rock character. He doesn't care, he's goofy. they made him like a likable character. How like they tried to do with Thor. I mean, not tried, like they did with Thor and Ragnarok. I think Ragnarok did it as a better thing, but maybe that's because we saw more of not really liking Thor versus Aquaman, where he's been in 2 movies. I mean, I do feel like he is the same character from Justice League. They do a really good job. Some movies they really have it where a character acts this like worse in a movie, but in that different movie like Black Panther, like we all think Black Panther did better in Civil War. Aquaman,
Hmm.
his arc, you can see it. I will admit it's there, but like I said, kind of with the story, I just all that wasn't interested. But I'm not gonna say it was bad. The arc was pretty good. How he goes from not caring about his mother well, he didn't not care about her. He just resented her for leaving his father on his doorstep. I feel like they could have shown a little bit more, kind of the same thing with Orm, but Oliver, not Oliver, Arthur's arc, it's pretty good. That's one of the things of the movie that I actually enjoyed a little bit.
Yeah, I like his arc too. Like everything else in this movie, I really like it. Um, just like what you said, I like the fact that he shows resentment towards his mother because she did kind of leave him and his father, and he always wondered, well, what if it was me? And also, he learned when he was a teenager that she got executed, so he's like, okay, she got executed because she had me. I'm a
Oh, I got
half
to touch on that.
breed.
That
I don't
acting was
belong.
terrible. The acting from
I
Kid Arthur and Teenage Arthur. They did a very bad job with the acting there. I don't know if it was writing. No, it was probably the kid. You can
No,
write
it
bad
was just the
lines,
kids.
but
Yeah, it was
if you
just the
act the
kid.
lines bad, that's on the lines weren't even bad. It's just the way the 2 kids. It's just I don't really like child actors just because
They
they're
should have
never
did a
good.
second take.
I feel like it was the first take. It was probably the first
That was
take.
just the first
James Wan
take.
was just like, "All right, man, pretty good. Here's your
Yeah.
Arby's gift card we said you'd get for coming on the movie. Your mom's waiting for you in the parking lot." It's
All
just
right.
the
Right.
acting just wasn't very good in that scene, so that's why it kind of made me laugh because like it's Aquaman and they gave him bad acting. It's kind of unfair, but it was just funny to laugh
Yeah.
at because of how bad it was.
But continuing on with what I was saying, yeah, he does kind of show a little bit resentment towards his mother because he does feel like, hey, she left because she had me and she died because she had me. So he feels like a half breed. He feels like he doesn't belong on land or on sea because on land he's weird because he can talk to fish, and in the sea he's weird because he's a half breed. He can go up on land and act like one of the people. So at the same time, I feel like that kind of relates a lot to me personally, but that's just me. I just, you kind of don't belong to one place and then you feel like you belong here, but at the same time you don't belong there. So it's just how I feel like his art kind of relates to me more. But that's just why I love it so much because I can look at myself in Arthur even though I'm not big and beefy like, Aquaman. But let's move right into the third act. And
The third act
if you
sucked. I'm
don't
gonna be
like it,
completely straight.
yeah, I
I'm
already
gonna be
already knew you
completely
wasn't
straight.
gonna like it.
I mean, hey, what did
Well, I
you
mean, you were
expect?
already yawning. You were
I
already
mean, first
yawning
off,
at the
yeah, like
time
I've said it
we got
multiple
to the
times.
third
What makes a
act.
movie bad is just boring. And the thing is, just it's just for the first. I will admit, the final battle on the little submarine thing that was cool. It was very stylistic, and you can see it meant a lot between the characters. There was a lot of, and it wasn't just he didn't kill Orm, which some other Super Marys would have done. He spared him, and he said, "When you're ready, let's talk." And so I thought that was a cool moment, but the whole like battle between the what was it called, the Atlanteans and the what were they? The little crab people.
Crustaceans. I think they were like the
The
crustaceans or
brine, the
something. I
brine.
don't know.
That's what they were. The brine.
Oh,
Uh,
damn.
it was just quoting Sterling. For me, it was just a CGI hodgepodge, and like the water was very muddly. So like at times you couldn't really see what's going on. It was just they're 2 armies, they're fighting. I don't really care about either of these armies. Arthur's introduction was pretty cool when he brought what was it? The Kraken? No,
Yeah,
it
you
wasn't the
said I
Kraken.
think it was a kraken, but
It was the
it was like a crack.
Carabin? Carathin. Wasn't that Carathin? It was like a big
Yeah, yeah, one of those
thing.
things.
That was a pretty cool little introduction, but the third act, I don't know, it's just another kind of generic 2 army battle between 2 armies that I don't really like. 2 army battles can be cool if you care about one of the armies, but no, it was just kind of 2 sides that you don't really care about. And it was kind of just jumped in because last time we saw Orm, he was didn't he kill that one dude? The one king, the little mermaid
Yeah,
dude?
Yeah, he killed him because he needed his
Yeah,
army, and the
and he
king wouldn't
didn't.
give it to him.
And then the
So,
next time we see him is just he says onto the brine, I'm pretty sure. And then the next time we see him, he's just fighting the brine. So I just think this third act is lame.
because they wouldn't give up
I mean, yeah, I
the
know
army,
why.
so they
I
had a
know why
war.
they're fighting. I just think it's lame, and like we don't really see any Orm in between those two scenes. Not that I can remember. It was just I don't know. I kind of just toned out there because it was a pretty boring fight. It was just two armies, and it doesn't matter because Aquaman's just gonna show up and start wrecking people. When Aquaman did show up, it was pretty cool, but then him and Mara just get kissed, and they kiss in midair. It's like, come on, like that's the dude you're trying to stop, and he's just making out with his girlfriend. Like
Yeah.
you have the clean opportunity. I just don't like this third act. I really don't like it. Even I think actually no, I'm not gonna say that. I just think the best part of it was when Orm and I keep wanting to say Oliver. Orm and Aquaman
Arthur.
had their little fight. Yeah, Arthur on the little submarine thing. That's the one part I did like because it was very cool.
Well, once again, I disagree with you on the sea thing, but I also agree with you on the submarine one. What that does thematically for the characters, it works. But the undersea war, I loved it. Loved it. I love the green. I love the reds, the blues, all the flying little laser colors inside of the ocean. I don't know why. I just love it. It's campy. It's silly, but it works for the movie that they told because this movie wasn't serious throughout the entire 2 hours and 23 minutes or something like that. The movie was not serious. It was silly. It was meant to be campy. So they had a campy third act with crustaceans and a octopus playing the drums. That's what I like to see inside of an Aquaman movie, and that's what you showed up for. You showed up for camp. Like literally all the memes around Aquaman. That's what kind of
No, I mean, how
inspired
is it
this movie,
campy though?
basically.
Like,
Hmm?
I don't get how you
The
say it's campy
costume,
when it's just
the
two
costumes, him
sides. Yeah,
riding
the
the,
costumes can be, but like
but
the
him
actual battle itself, like it's supposed to be taken pretty seriously because you can see it. I just don't think the
well, if
battle
you
is
don't
very
take it
interesting.
seriously, then what am I supposed to do? But like, no, I just feel like yeah, they made Aquaman riding on a seahorse in the third act feel, cool, but it's also still very campy and silly.
I feel like that
I mean,
was.
he's
Oh,
riding a seahorse.
also, I forgot to touch this in the hero arc. I think the costume is really. I know Sterling's gonna go about how I disagree with you and whatever. I just think the costume. I just think Jason Momoa is too big of a dude to be wearing this skin tight orange suit, and the gloves are just really They have a little fin on them. You know what I mean? Like that fin that goes up
Mm-hmm.
gauntlet. I just think the suit from Justice League looked better because it wasn't very bright, and I mean that was because Justice League wasn't that bright of a movie. I just feel like the costume in this movie, I wish they would have brought back the other thing. I just think or made a new one. I just don't think Jason Momoa looks good in the classic bright orange and bright green pants. But that's just me. Sorry, as you were saying.
Yeah, but I just love this third act. It was good. It had stakes. It had good guys. It had bad guys clashing together. We also have the one good guy breaking up the war, all men for themselves. That's something that I like to see. Like this was inside of Wonder Woman. This was inside of this movie. I just like to see just an all-out war, and the guy, the main character, has to break it up. And I just really loved it. It was a great third act to me. I loved it.
All right, well
And
that's
so
cool how you think, but I'm pretty sure to cut you off, but I'm gonna let you go first. I've been going first. How do you think it holds up? Excuse me.
I think it holds up very well. Like I said, the memes are the things that kind of inspired this film. So they said, you know what? Instead of making it like Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, even Wonder Woman, they was like, you know what? We're just gonna make a campy fun movie, a campy fun winter movie, set in the ocean. Now, to a studio head, that would seem like you just lost us money. This movie was the first $1 billion DCEU film. And I know that doesn't mean that the movie is good or bad. It just means that this movie made money and it rolled off the fact that Aquaman is a campy character and he deserves to have a campy, fun movie. So this movie holds up, in my opinion. It's very fun. I could fall asleep on it. I have a good time with
Do
it.
you consider that a
It's
good
just very
thing
great.
that you could fall asleep
Yeah,
to it? That's interesting.
you
Well,
fall
I
asleep
mean,
to Ragnarok.
yeah. I didn't say that as like a
But
key
you
thing
like
in the movie. I said I can put that on when I'm trying to fall asleep and have something in the background. You just said you can fall asleep to this movie. Is that what you meant? Like
yeah.
you have it on in the background, or you just watch this
Yes.
movie and go to sleep? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you already know, and I'm about to say how it holds up. It's by no means like a movie that I'm flat out gonna say, nah, man, don't watch it. Don't watch it. It's just if someone asks me, what do you think of Aquaman? I'm just gonna tell them, well, to me personally, it was just a pretty boring movie. I didn't find a lot interesting with it, but it holds up pretty well. Like it's not a movie that I can go back and be like, I can't watch this. Like this is terrible. This is a movie. It's just I wouldn't really go back and watch this out of any time of day. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, let's just go watch Aquaman, because personally, I just don't like the movie that much. I think it's boring, but it holds up okay for a movie. It feels like a movie that it's not old, it's not bad or anything. It's just, I mean, if someone asks me if they should watch it, I'm just tell them flat out. I think it's boring and not very interesting.
Well, with that being said, let's move right into our best moments for the film.
Boy, I gotta think. You just go on. I gotta think.
Jesus Christ. I liked every underwater scene. Every underwater scene. I love.
Bro, that's like half the movie.
It's so weird.
It's
like it's so weird in like almost every action sequence. It has to start with an explosion.
Oh
like,
yeah, people get cut off a lot. People do get cut off a lot
by the explosions. Those are also pretty funny. Like it's so weird because it's intentional. Like they wanted to have that in the movie, and it just feels like you guys just did not try. Let's see what else. It is kind of hard to figure out. Hold up. The underwater scenes, the first fight on the submarine. What else? Jesus.
Dang, Sterling, you were hyping this movie up for a long time, man. You gotta do better.
There's just so many good things that I just can't.
There's so many. Why are you having a problem?
Because I just can't single out one. You know what? Throw the entire movie in there. Every underwater scene, the costumes, everything, man. Everything is the best moment to me. This is great. This is a great movie. I love it.
All right. Ooh. I'm gonna just go out with one that I can hard out say is the best. It's the final fight on the submarine before Orm and Aquaman. That's the one scene out of the whole bore fest of the movie. I thought that scene was pretty enjoyable. It was just very stylistic. I just like seeing fights in the rain. Fights in the rain are just pretty cool, and surprised like there wasn't that much of it in the movie. Another best scene. Hold on, it's coming to me.
Don't say Mara. Don't say every
Mara. Why would I say Mara, dude?
She's an abuser. Yeah, don't. Yeah, let's not say.
Why would I support her? Dang, I want to say Black Manta, but Black Manta went out like a punk, so I can't really say that.
I'll just his costume, the comic accuracy.
Costume was lame, dude. Like, not even just what they did in the movie. The Black Manta's costume in general is very stupid. But I guess that's what they kind of did it on purpose in this movie.
Hot take.
How's that a hot take? His costume is very goofy. Do you not think?
Yeah, but everybody else.
Don't say everybody. That's an overgeneralization. Do not say everybody. Yeah, I'm just gonna. I can't think of another best moment, so I'm just say the final fight on the submarine. There's not a lot of fights in this movie, moments in this movie that I really liked. It was just kind of boring. Oh, dang! I thought I would like a lot more about this movie.
Yeah, but
don't say you went in with it because the movie was boring, Sterling. To me.
Hey, oh well. What would you change and what would you add?
The movie. Make it better. Nah, I would just. I don't know. Because I can't really say why I mean, I can say. I just think it's boring. I wouldn't take out Orm, save him for later. Later movie. I just want to make Black Manta a bigger part of the movie because I feel like that's one of the main things I was hyped for in this movie. Because I don't know a lot about Black Manta, but I was like, I'm willing to see more. His costume, it's pretty goofy, but. No, I'll see. I expected more from Black Manta than for him to go out by hitting him in the head. Nothing I would change. I would change the costume. I really don't like the costume. I would either just make a new one or just keep the one he had from Justice League. Another thing I would change. I don't know. I would just kind of
You know, they
change the
gotta sell
plot.
toys.
I would, yeah, obviously. I would just kind of shake up the plot so it's not what is it called? A MacGuffin. I don't know if I'm even using that right, but whatever. I'm gonna use it. Sword in the Stone, MacGuffin. It's just kind of generic for me. So yeah, like I said, I would just shake up the plot. Just give it more something interesting to do. I would just make, like you said, every combat encounter does start with someone being cut off for an explosion. So I think that is a little lazy. And what I would add, I mean, there would be a lot of stuff I would add. So I would just more Black Manta screen time, better costume, and maybe just more into the backstory of Orm and Orm, not the backstory of Orm and what I was about to say. I just think we need to see more of Orm and Arthur together, like maybe just fighting. Maybe they encounter multiple times, or Orm is chasing him down. I just want to see like more like why does Orm hate him so much? Like, can I see that visually? Like, what was his connection with his mom? Why does he hate Arthur for taking her away from him? So that's just what I would add. But I would just honestly it's kind of a hard thing to say, but just make the movie more interesting to me. And that's just subjective, but that's what I would do.
For me, I would probably change up the story a little bit. Like I said, it has its similarities to Black Panther, so I would change that up a little bit. And I think, yeah, like you said too, not every action sequence has to have an explosion to kick it off. But I think everything else was pretty cool. And I think I would just add some more scenes underwater and change out the land stuff. Like, you don't really need that much land stuff in an Aquaman movie. But
well, I mean,
at the same time, it did kind of work out
I don't want it. It's what you would change, not what I would change. But keep going.
Yeah, so I would just add in more underwater scenes. But that's just it. That's it. Change up the story a little bit, add in some more water scenes, it would be good.
At least we can agree on changing the story. But all right, let's get into part everyone's been waiting for. Sterling,
tier ranking.
Do you want to go first? Would you like me to go?
I'll go first. Tier ranking. Going in S. No ifs, ands, but about it. Going in S, and for numbers, I'm gonna have to do an A.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, not an A. Not an A. I'm tripping. For numbers, I'm gonna have to do I would say a 9, 9.2.
All right, now we got that bogus ranking out of the way. Aquaman, I'm sorry, not bogus. I'm just kidding. I can't give it B. Going into this movie, it was a C because I was like, okay, Sterling, he's been telling me how great this movie is, so maybe it'll be different. Maybe it'll be different, but I just can't say that this movie is very good. Like, it's got a couple good parts sprown about, but for the main factor that drags this thing down is that it's boring to me. So for me, Aquaman, it's got to go to D for me. D in the tier scale.
One of those, dude.
Sorry, it's boring. I
putting
can't.
It underneath Suicide Squad. Imagine.
It's underneath Suicide Squad. Dang.
Because you said Suicide Squad would be a C, and you put Justice League and Aquaman in D.
I did not put Justice League. Did I put Justice League in D?
You put Justice League in D.
Oh well, I guess it's going. Dang. If it's Justice League's at a D, that makes me feel like Aquaman should be at F. But nah, it's not a failure of a movie. So I'm just gonna put it in D and
So you're literally saying Aquaman is worse than Justice League.
Yeah, I guess. My number rating.
31 to 31 is coming. Oh my god.
Number rating. I'm gonna just give it like a 5.3. I just really worst thing a movie can do is be boring, and that's what this movie did. So D, 5.3. Feel a little harsh, but I can't lie. I didn't enjoy the movie. I'm sorry, Sterling. I know
Today
I failed you.
Today you didn't.
I probably won't enjoy it tomorrow.
I'll enjoy it later.
You sound like you're gonna brainwash me into enjoying it, Sterling.
I said
that sounded like a
you
threat.
Said that you were tired, so you were like, "Hey, you wasn't ready to watch the movie today." So, I mean, they gotta have at least some input. So, yeah,
it won't change. I just think this movie's boring. I was tired because it was boring. But sorry, Sterling.
I mean, you gotta be sorry to me. I really don't care. I mean, it's your opinion, but yeah, I love the movie.
I know
it's an S tier film. It's it's comic accurate.
I'm not gonna say anything on air.
I really loved it. So yeah, that was it for the Aquaman DCEU rewatch. Please note that everything that we did say in this video is just our very own opinion, and you are free to comment down below. What did you think of Aquaman? You got anything you want to say?
No, you pretty much covered the boat. Be sure to check out Sterling's channel for. Have you done a review for this movie? You probably, if you were looking for something positive, well, like Sterling said, expect DCEU 31 on 31. Stuff. But yeah, leave a like and subscribe. We'll hit you next week with Shazam. No.
Yeah, Shazam.
Yeah, Shazam.
No, it's Shazam.
Bam. Episode 7. Leave a like, subscribe, comment. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.